Notre Dame is built on faith, tradition, and quads.
Quads are wide open spaces where friends connect, relax, and walk together.
That's the spirit of the Pod Quad Show.
Two Holy Cross priests,
Good friends,
great guests,
talking about life.
Amy Seamon serves as the Senior Director of Academic and Campus Events at the University of Notre Dame, where she is responsible for shaping many of the moments that define the life of the university. A native of my hometown, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and a proud Notre Dame graduate, Amy brings both professional expertise and personal connection to the work of creating meaningful campus experiences. In her role, she leads the strategy and execution behind major academic ceremonies and high-profile campus gatherings, translating institutional vision into events that reflect Notre Dame's mission, tradition, and sense of community. Her work involves leadership, logistics, and extending hospitality on behalf of Notre Dame. Today on the Pod Quad, we are joined by a great woman who understands how events and experiences can shape lifelong impressions. Amy offers a unique perspective on what it takes to bring colossal events to a life with grace, beauty, and an incredible attention to detail. We're excited to talk to one of the people at the core of the special moments that define a Notre Dame experience. Amy Seamon, welcome to the Pod Quad.
Thank you. It is such a pleasure to be here. I am, on the words of advice of my 12-year-old daughter, she said, just don't be boring, Mom. And then she asked me what I was going to wear. So, I feel like, okay. And I also grew up with 3 older brothers, so I feel like I'm here with 2 and you're about to roast me. So I'm just going to buckle up. Here we go.
Buckle up. Here it comes. This is a PG show, so the questions are going to be, well, somewhat kind.
I hope so.
Amy, it's so great to have you here. It feels like there's always something going on campus, but it's really hard for any one of us to get a sense of like the scope and scale of all the things that are going on. You have a really unique view into that. So can you give us a sense of what exactly happens in any given weekend in terms of academic and campus events or any given week, and what kind of work your team actually does?
Yeah. So it's super dynamic, right? Like no week, no day is ever the same here. There's cycles at the university, when you're approaching the end of the season, which we're gearing up for April and May, where events are just going to be through the roof as we work towards commencement. But I'm really blessed and honored to lead a team of 16 people who are just incredible servants of this university. And we do over 3,500 events a year. There could be maybe 3 to 4 a day, or there could be 20 to 30 a day. It just depends on the swing of the season. And it ranges anywhere from, we take care of multi-day academic conferences where people fly in from all over the country, all over the world to attend academic conferences here. And they're complex, multi-day, huge events. Have an amazing academic conference team that's housed over at McKenna Hall. To, we do the student dances in the ballrooms on the weekends.
Oh, baby.
We have some stories about those. Keo, I don't know. We'll have to look in the archives on that one.
Roll ruse.
And then we do, daily meetings, corporate events are housed here. We host weddings, which are destination weddings at the university where people want to return home to get married. So it keeps us on our toes. Then we go to like the large scale events, right? Where it takes the whole events team, where we lead commencement weekend, junior parents weekend, reunion, where those weekends are just jam packed of welcoming tens of thousands of visitors back to campus. So it's dynamic, it's vibrant, it keeps you on your toes. As I remind my team, no event is simple, whether it's a 20-person lunch in McKenna or it's a 2,000-person event in the stadium. We can't take it for granted. We can't pause. We can't let our guard down. We have to pay attention to every detail, treat every event as special and new, because that's what it is. And we're really just trying to stay on our toes of making sure that our guests and our campus partners feel taken care of and welcomed home at Notre Dame. So,
love that.
Yeah.
You think about it, for the 3 of us, we're here all the time.
Yeah.
But it's entirely possible for many of these events. This is a one-off.
Absolutely.
Someone's going to come here and they're going to have one particular experience, and your team is tasked with making sure that they're cared for in a meaningful way.
Yeah. And that's the gift, right? Like Notre Dame is home to us.
Yes.
And when they come here, whether it's for the 50th time or the first time, we want them to feel at home and feel what we know is so special about Notre Dame, for sure.
Okay, so I've got a question for you too. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone should know that Amy and I went to rival high schools.
I went to the better one, but yes.
Wait a sec. See, this is why you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to get back to the question here.
You invited me here.
All right, so here it comes at you.
Yeah.
You have a special gift for really thinking about, and what I oftentimes call like looking around corners and thinking through what makes an event special. When you begin to imagine, say I was coming to you for an event, like how do you start to think that through? How do you help me to imagine what's even possible?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's called a type A personality. It's also a Seamon family trait. Like we're going to leave no stone unturned. Gosh, there's so much. You're asking me this on the heels of celebrating a great Notre Dame man, Coach Lou Holtz, this past week. And wow, what an honor it was to be a part of that celebration. I don't think of it as work, right? Like there were so many events surrounding that celebration of life. But really how I approach it is a ministry. Like it is to be a part of every moment and movement of that celebration was such a privilege and honor. And Coach Holtz's celebration was not only a celebration of what a great man he was, but it was a celebration of the Notre Dame family and welcoming his family here. His 4 children were here, welcoming his former players, family and friends from all over the country, the public who wanted to come, who didn't know the family but knew of Coach or maybe met him in passing. So I start there because I really approach it as just an honor and privilege to represent Notre Dame every single day. And I never want to take that for granted because there's an intangible about Notre Dame. Actually, Coach had a great quote about Notre Dame, which is, for those who know Notre Dame, no explanation is necessary. For those who don't, no explanation will suffice. There's just an intangible here. And for me, it's easy because I have that personality where I want to tend to every single detail. I'm going to make sure, do we have enough seating in the basilica? We probably know we don't. So where do we start and how do we move? And how do we flex in the moment? Knowing we don't really have a grasp on the exact numbers of people who will attend. How do you, arrange the transportation to and from? How do you make sure you have hand warmers in the spring for a walk from the basilica to Cedar Grove, right? Where we were greeted by just a blizzard as you walk outside. And then, let's make sure we greet the trumpets and line them up right at the main circle so they play the last alma mater for Coach before he goes late to rest. There are just so many logistical movements, which that's the easy part. It's making sure that it's seamless, that anything that happens behind the scenes happens behind the scenes. And I know it sounds kind of morbid, but I'll think about what could go wrong. At every moment, what can go wrong? And then if I answer those and I have something in my mind or I've prepared for it, I feel better about the fluidity and the movements. And then that's where I just can let Notre Dame shine because it speaks for itself. And the moments and the people make it what it is. So.
And that capacity, though, to be able to say, okay, in the ideal scenario, this is what plays out. But let's just brainstorm a little bit about how to be prepared if that is not what we're ultimately afforded. Like I think about with Coach Holtz, y'all had like a monsoon amount of rain come down the night of the wake. And then the day of, in the only way South Bend can do it, we went from 60
to 20
to 20 and a lot of snow. And you guys had to handle all those things.
And so, you flex in the moment, right? And you do the best you can. It's not always perfect, but we tried to accommodate as many people as we could on that Sunday night, getting people into the basilica. We moved the line, people who were waiting in the line, over to the main building to kind of stage them there and then brought them over because it really did start to just pour, absolutely pour. So, you flex in those moments. We didn't think we'd have to move people from outside to the main building, but that's what we did with the help of our amazing police department and security team. And just it's not just the academic and campus events team, it's everybody at the university working together. And sure, there are moments that you work on your own events and you're in a silo and you do the lunch and they're out the door. But weekends like this, moments like this, take everybody at the university coming together and stepping across roles and lines and working together and doing whatever it takes, just stepping in and doing whatever it takes.
It's really cool.
And it was so special too that people outside of the university who just wanted to come in and love up Coach Holtz's family and be there at this historic moment. They were welcome, right?
Awesome.
They could come to campus. They could participate in the liturgies, whether it was in that main basilica or in a satellite area. But what a beautiful thing to just say, I can actually come to campus. I can celebrate the life of this Notre Dame legend.
And they felt so welcome and they felt so grateful as they were exiting the Basilica that night, because we were there until well after 11, and people are walking out and just saying, thank you for this, thank you for this. Like that just touches your heart, and it means something to them, and it means something to us to be able to welcome people home at every turn. So.
All right, Amy. So as Pete mentioned,
Yes.
you are both from.
Oh, it's
I've been
time.
waiting
It's
for this.
on.
Here we go.
I've been waiting for this.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm good. Hold on.
You're both from Grand Rapids, Michigan. And everyone I have ever met is so proud to be from the Furniture City.
Oh, he did his research.
He's done his
He
research.
did his research.
Really good.
I looked it up.
That's it. It's really good.
That I
It's also Beer City, USA, too.
Yeah.
Furniture
Oh.
City
Yeah.
and Beer City.
PG.
Yeah.
This is PG-13 show.
Root Beer City. USA. What do you
Sorry.
think it is about Grand Rapids that inspires its natives to just be so fiercely loyal and proud of their city?
Yeah. Well, first, it's home to the greatest high school, Grand Rapids Catholic Central. Go Cougars. So, I mean, that's number one.
Okay.
Is, oh, listen, it is funny. There is just people are very proud to be from Grand Rapids. So my dad was born and raised in Grand Rapids, went to the greatest high school, Catholic Central, had to step away from Catholic to go be Pete's principal at West Catholic for a little while. That's how deep the roots are there. I don't know. There's just this strong identity from which side of town you came from, which high school you went to. There's a lot of diversity in that, and just pride in where you went to school, what side of town you lived on, where your parents came from, what they did. So I don't know. And especially with the schools, my dad was superintendent of the Catholic schools there for over 30 years. And my mom volunteered and led the auctions there and was a teacher before having our family. And just, education is just such a part of our identity, and it's deeply rooted in Grand Rapids. And you just know people as you go to the parishes and schools. You learn about community and family, and you just form those relationships that are so strong.
Yeah.
The other thing about Grand Rapids, I know I joked Beer City, Furniture City, but there is a really vibrant arts and entertainment culture in Grand Rapids that has grown way since we were growing up there, Pete. That city, it's known as the little big city. It's just blown up, right? Where you have Frederick Meyer Gardens, Meyer the grocery stores, he has a beautiful botanical gardens there named after him. And you have Amway and Steelcase and all of these, and Van Andel Arena, which now brings some of the biggest names in entertainment to downtown Grand Rapids. Who would have thought that would become our city that we're from? So I love returning home. It's always something new. There's a really vibrant arts and entertainment scene there. It's just super cool.
That's awesome.
And the Cougars will always beat Falcons. So.
So, interesting little point of fact. I'm from a mixed family.
Oh.
So my mom attended Catholic Central. My dad attended West Catholic.
And somehow.
But I just want to point out something, that my mom insisted on sending all of my siblings and me to West. So I'm just saying.
That's because David Seamon was your principal.
It was. I mean, he was the man. I got him my senior year. I'll be forever grateful.
That's awesome.
And I always talk about this, and whenever I have the chance, man, despite the rivalry, at the end of the day, it's all family.
Totally.
And my family benefited immensely from financial aid, and we would always go to Amy's dad's office, and my mom every year would be like, all right, here's the situation, 6 kids, all within 8 years. And without fail, they took care of my family.
Praise God.
Which I'm just forever grateful
West
for.
is a great school, but I always have to keep.
That's awesome.
And I can't ever be inducted into my religious hall of fame at my high school, so he'll always have a one-up on me,
I was honored to be inducted to the Religious Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yes, at my high school. But I just want to point out, Nate, you too probably could have been inducted because all you had to do was be ordained. I didn't have to have any kind of body of work. I was literally ordained and then inducted.
Nice.
So
Again, I can never be inducted into mine, so maybe you can be a representative at Catholic.
The lines are open. We'll see if they give a call or not. But
That's awesome. That's
I think
awesome.
this episode should be sponsored by the city of Grand Rapids.
exactly.
I think we're going to get some of that
I know, the
sponsorship
Tourist
money.
Bureau, maybe they'll be,
Yeah.
But
Doing some events in Grand Rapids soon.
Speaking of Better Business Bureau, I attended Grand Valley State University, which is housed
Right in downtown.
And sometimes our students here at Notre Dame get fired up about whoever our commencement speaker is. And it's usually some kind of super fancy and famous person.
Admiral, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's truly amazing. I just want to point out that when I graduated from Grand Valley State, our commencement speaker was the head of the Better Business Bureau of Grand Rapids.
Stop it.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was the most boring talk ever.
Oh, God.
So whenever people are writing in the Observer like, oh, I can't believe we have whomever, I'm like, bro, you have no idea of how bad it can be.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
So anyways.
Follow Margaret's advice. Don't be boring.
All right, Amy, here we go. We're moving on here.
All right.
You have hosted some incredible people. And because of Nate's great research on this, I was reminded that when you two came to campus, you hosted them.
It was awesome. I got to help tour them around campus, which was incredible.
So walk us
You're
through
just walking
that.
with Bono.
You're just walking with Bono.
I have a great picture with Bono at the grotto that's still on prominent display in my house.
And is it true after this story that Bono at some point jumped on an undergrad's bike and rode around?
Sure did.
Okay.
Sure did.
So just
absolutely.
Floor is yours.
Sure
what
did.
happened here?
I mean, what a cool part of my job, right? Like it was my job that day to just help escort you two around campus. And I met them at the turn in the main building and we got to walk down to the grotto together. I mean, really cool stuff.
Amazing.
And I think, one thing is when people come to campus and they hadn't been here, they hadn't toured campus that way, like people are surprised by just the sheer size of campus. Like it's a pedestrian campus. Like you said, he jumped on a bike. Like you don't have to take a shuttle from North Campus to South Campus. You can walk our campus and at every turn you're experiencing something traditional, holy, sacred, historical on campus. Like there's so much to point out and celebrate and remember as you walk across. So I think people are like surprised by how intimate campus is despite the big name and notoriety, right? So like that's just beautiful. And so it felt really just like we were just taking a walk on campus, but you're like, this is Bono.
Were people walking by being like, hey, just,
like
or did
people
they
were
know,
stopping.
like, oh my gosh, that's.
No, I mean, because of course it's not advertised. So people are like, who's that? And they start like taking out their, cameras and phones and you're just like, oh my gosh. It's such a cool moment, right? I didn't get to tour Taylor Swift though, which that would have been cool. So
She's been on campus a couple times, huh?
Yeah, but never have been able on that tour, so.
Well, I'm glad you were showing you two around because no matter how much you show them, they probably still would say that they
I know what you're doing.
haven't found what they're looking for.
We knew it. We just knew. What other ones do you have in your
Sorry.
back pocket that you want to throw out here right now? Oh my God.
And because campus is so flat, they never have to worry about the elevation.
Thankfully, our streets have names. but-
Really, this is all about them right now. This is all.
Oh, Amy, I didn't see you
Amy,
there.
you're here. Oh, good Lord. Can I tell you one quick story, though?
Yes.
Oh,
So this is
gosh.
when Taylor Swift was actually on campus. And students were running around. She was on a golf cart, and they were all trying to, at one point, one of the guys walking out of the dorm had like given her a high five. He said, I'll never wash my hand again. But there was another one of the members of Keel Hall when I was the rector there. He was like, no, Taylor Swift is going to come to me. And so literally.
How'd that work out?
No, it worked out perfectly. He was like, she's got to have a driver here somewhere. And if I were Taylor Swift's driver, I would be parked behind the main building. So he went over there, and sure enough, there was this big old car waiting for Taylor.
Seems too
Brilliant.
obvious.
And then around the corner in a golf cart comes
Here she
Taylor
comes.
Swift. So Jordan gets this picture of him and Taylor head to head. Click.
No.
But he was like, I am
Unbelievable.
not going to chase Taylor. She's going to come to me.
Yeah.
He
I'm
just
gonna
manifested out into the world. And
I'm gonna figure out where her car is, and she's gonna come right there. So there you go. The best and the brightest, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it. I love it. She's going to come to me.
So speaking of great singers, Amy, you are an amazing
Yes.
singer.
Yes.
I can,
You want a duet?
I can sing. No. That would be a solo
Oh
with me
my
singing
gosh.
solo. You can't hear it.
Oh my
Can you talk about the impact that being in the Notre Dame folk choir and now being a cantor at your parish has had on your spiritual life?
Oh, yeah.
And also, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was so blessed my sophomore year here at Notre Dame. I joined the folk choir, and that just transformed my Notre Dame experience, because
Wow.
I met my best friends. You spend so much time together at weekly rehearsals and in the Basilica on Sundays. And I was brought up Catholic, but like every, incoming freshman, I was like, I get to make the choice now. Like, I'm going to choose.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to go to mass? What's my daily prayer life going to be like? How am I going to embrace it and make it my own? And of course, I'm thinking I'm going to rebel and not, but every moment I'm finding myself, especially that freshman year, just turning towards going to the chapel, going to mass, and knowing that it wasn't my dad opening up the closet door to tell me I was already late for mass on Sunday morning. I knew that was my signal, like, you better be ready. Being, early is on time is late in our household. So, but I just found myself going back to that. It did become a habit, but it also just became a central part of who I am. And so, joining the folk choir sophomore year just like kind of solidified what that would look like, what my faith journey would look like as I went through my time here at Notre Dame. And again, I met my best friends and had just the most incredible experiences. I got to sing in places and travel the country. It was the first time that it was the first time I had gone international was when I was in the folk choir, and we went to England and Ireland. And then, oh my gosh, my junior year, we went down to St. Petersburg, Florida to go on tour. And little did I know that I would meet the man who would later become one of my bosses. When I joined the Alliance for Catholic Education, I was then stationed in St. Petersburg, Florida. And like 28 years later, we're still friends and have this relationship. So I had to leave choir early, the tour early, my junior year, because my brother was getting married. And so I was leaving, and they said, we have a ride for you to the airport. It's all set. My ride was the bishop of the diocese. He drove me to the airport, and he's like, what are you studying? And I'm telling him I'm an English major here at Notre Dame, and I was doing the education program through St. Mary's and all this. He's like, come teach for me. I'm like, oh, okay. Little did I know later, after doing a few years of service and work, that I would be stationed down in St. Petersburg. And so then I became a member of one of the parishes down there at Sacred Heart, and I would sing at Holy Family, and just, it's been an incredible part of my faith journey. I've met incredible people along the way. And I would say that singing is honestly where I feel closest to God. Like when I cantor and when I'm in that moment, my prayer is the deepest, purest form of prayer that I have is when I sing. So whether it's good or not, I don't know. Of course, I'll be my worst critic on that. But in all seriousness, Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin is the go-to karaoke song for sure. For sure.
Oh, should we do a little?
Nope.
I can do the backup.
Nope.
Oh.
No. Solo, Nate. Solo.
Yeah, we don't have the rights to anything here, so
Did nothing,
we're not
man.
going to do that.
In fact, I'm renting these clothes right now.
Oh my gosh.
It's a great shout out to our friend Bishop Lynch. Though.
He's an
That's awesome.
amazing mentor in my life, and to be connected after freshman or junior year to now, it's just incredible how your paths intersect and come back to each other. So.
Providence. It's
Great
God's
man.
providence.
There's a famous Catholic line: "Those who sing pray twice." So
I love
right.
it.
I've only
I
prayed
need
once.
I need it.
All right, so Amy, you have this expertise, which we've been exploring, but now I'm going to have you turn this thing a little bit and offer some guidance to those who are listening, who may not be as adept or skilled in the art of planning a great party or a great event. Like, what would you recommend to the casual person who might, I'm just going to say, maybe goes down the aisle, grabs some chips, and then checks out? How might one amplify or enhance the festive
Don't sell
experience?
yourself short. You also get a little sweet treat or something.
Yeah, always. It's pretty predictable, but Nate can attest to the fact it's true. So I'm going to take some
great
notes.
soiree.
You
do.
I'm
a
going to
great
take some
job.
notes
I
here.
love it. Well, the number one thing I'm going to do, especially when Nate reaches out, call me. Like, absolutely, call me. I will help you. I will help you. Let me help you. Oh gosh. I mean, the first thing you have to do is make it personal, right?
Yeah.
What does the person want to accomplish in the gathering, the party, the retreat, the meeting? What's the goal, right? Because at the end of the day, it's easy to throw a lunch, right? To put together a lunch, make sure everyone's fed. But what's the context and goal of that lunch? Here it could be a deep conversation about research topics at the university. It could be gathering scholars from all over the country and world together. It could be celebrating someone's life. It could be a party for 200 people. It doesn't matter, but what's the thread? What's the common theme? What's the goal? Because the logistics, I can give you a step-by-step, but what's the common theme or thread that you can, from the moment someone walks into the room to their exit, when you give them maybe a little parting gift as they leave, what's bringing it all together, and what's the focus and that theme? And you can only get to that by making it personal and not transactional. It's easy to check off details. It really is if you have that list, but making it matter. The details are important because making it matter and making it important is what will make it successful, but also make it lasting. And people will remember it. And that's what I want from every experience. Again, whether you're here for the 50th time or the first time, I want everyone walking away having experienced and celebrated and remembered Notre Dame in a special way. That's really important to me.
I love that.
So.
To really focus on the personal and not necessarily the generic, but to say, okay, what are we trying to accomplish here in this space?
Yeah, and I remind my team, like, we could do events anywhere, right? We could go to any hotel, corporation, you name it, other college or university. We could go do that job somewhere else, but we choose to do it here because Notre Dame is special. And that's a really big responsibility when you think about, like, I take it very seriously to represent the mission and to represent Notre Dame. Like, there's a gravitas to that, and it's important and it's motivating, and it's a great reminder every day as you step into your work and ministry.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's a special place, man.
100%.
So special.
100%.
Can you give us an example, or does something come to mind when you're thinking of like that parting gift that you gave at an end of event that really made it like, whoa? People were really blown away or moved by it or excited that, like, they're now taking something away. Because I have to say, one thing I was really moved by is after Father Bob's inauguration, when you all gave the candle. Yeah. So special. And there were holy cards too in there, right?
Yep.
That was such a...
With a prayer on it,
beautiful gift.
Again, that's so personal. That's so Notre Dame, right? Like, people feel like they're taking a part of the grotto, a replica of the Grotto of Lourdes with them, and then have that prayer and reminder of that celebration of Father Bob. Like, what an awesome moment. And you talk about, like, a key moment in Notre Dame history. Again, that inauguration was just incredible. And so... yeah, you stole my thunder by giving that example. Or were you looking to say, well, there's this new book out that's a great parting gift that you could...
Prayer Like a Champion is an amazing gift.
But again, we might take it for granted, and it could be something as simple. You know, I have this little frame that has a picture of the dome with a sunset, a beautiful sunset behind it. And like, we might think that's simple or small, but that just little moment is a reminder of their experience here and connects them deeply back to Notre Dame. So we have all of those places on campus that we don't want to take for granted, like the grotto and the main building and the basilica and, you know, the Word of Life mural, Touchdown Jesus, you know, so people resonate with that and connect themselves to it deeply. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So our last question is one we ask all of our guests on the
We're already at the end. This is so fun.
I'm so glad you think that. Okay, so what is the best piece of advice you've ever received, or a piece of advice that you'd like to share with Podquad Nation?
Yeah. Well, two come to mind, but the most poignant is, you know, my parents are my heroes in life. They will have been married 58 years this coming April. Wow. And I think, I mean, they've just been the model of everything in my life, but especially, like, they haven't gotten 58 years without partnership and trust and grit and certainly love and faith. I mean, huge models of faith in my life. So, and my dad would always say to me, probably because I'm the youngest of four and the only girl, so I can tend to have a sharp tongue, but, you know, he would say, you know, fools write, wise men speak. And I later learned it's kind of a take on what Plato's expression, which is that wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. And so, like, I always go back to what my dad said is fools write, wise men speak. You can never discount face-to-face human interaction.
That's right.
You can't, in this moment, you can't misinterpret my tone, my intent, my message, because if you do, we'll solve it right here in this moment. And in a day and age where it's so easy to send the text or send the email or be on your phone, it's so easy to just go to that and like not have a crucial conversation or a really honest, hard conversation with a friend or a family member. It's so easy to hide behind devices now. And so I really push myself to be like, you know what, if this is a hard conversation, if this is really important and this matters, I've got to go face to face. I have to talk. I have to speak. So that always resonates deeply with me. And probably because I can let my words get away from me, it's really good to be like, face to face is always best,
That's really courageous.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amy, thanks so much for the wisdom that you've offered us and the great joy that you shared. You've been a great blessing to have on the Pod Quad.
Well, thank you. I joked with both of you that I thought you invited the wrong Seamon, but I am truly the wrong Seamon to the podcast. But I am so privileged and honored to be here and to have this moment with you, because this is a Notre Dame moment. Like, this is one of those times I'll always remember when the three of us got to sit down and share Notre Dame and these experiences. And Father Bob always talks about the blood in the bricks at Notre Dame, the congregation. I'm eternally grateful for and have so much love and admiration for your servant leadership. Thank you, because you guys are the best. Even you, Falcon.
West Cali Falcons, Cali Central Cougars, we're coming together. It's a great sign of the coming of the kingdom.
The peaceable kingdom.
Easter is nearing. Easter is nearing.
The prophecy has come true.
But Amy, seriously, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Welcome back to The Last Lap, where we give a little bit of our impression, things that hit us about our great conversation with Amy Seamon. So, can I start out?
Yes.
All right. I was just so moved by the fact that when you asked her about what to do, how to make a party or an event better, and she talked about the fact that you get to know people, right? And you do something that's special for them, or you start with the goal and then work backwards from that. I was thinking in the educational world, that's called backwards design, right? Like and this goes back to her role in ACE as a teacher, of working backwards from the goal and working backwards from the people who are going to be there to make it truly special for them. Because I like what you said, and she said too, of like, this may be the only encounter that somebody has with the University of Notre Dame. And we want to make that special for them. We want to make that not only an encounter and a fun event, but like an encounter with the divine. We want to make that, to experience what's so special about Our Lady's University. So I think that was a really cool insight that she said, and that ultimately recognizes that the people who are coming to every one of these events are uniquely made in the image and likeness of God and deserve to have an encounter that's that beautiful and unique.
There's a unique parallel to this, and just bear with me for a minute, to confession. And here it is. You and I both know this. Like, you never know what it took for a person to walk up, maybe in the confessional line or stand in the line or walk up to a priest and say, hey, do you have a moment? And so to be able to honor that by being attentive and extending the mercy that they are afforded. And I think there's something similar here, that people are coming in with all of these different stories, and they're finding themselves here. And how do we honor that? How do we recognize the sacredness of that moment? And to have someone like Amy, who is so thoughtful and deeply faithful and able to be attentive in such a way, is really just a great gift.
And how do you do that when you're doing 3,500 events a year?
Seriously,
right? It's the same thing as when we have our 100th person come in for confession.
Exactly.
Got to meet them with grace and energy, and
we've got to remember, it might be our 100th, but it's their first.
I love that.
And what a great reminder that is for all of us. As we go through our days and we do our different things, like, how is it that we can be attentive to each person and to recognize and honor the sacred that is present there? And that ultimately is what gets me to mind, which is her enthusiasm.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
It's contagious.
Who doesn't want to be around Amy Seamon all the time? She's got great juice. She has great passion and commitment to what she's doing. And that has to be infectious to everyone that she's around. And so it's so clear to me that Amy is a great blessing, not only to her team, but this broader university community.
Amen. It really is an incredible, she just brings so much. And you've got to do that, right?
Yeah.
You've got to do that when, whether she's cantoring or whether she's leading her team or whatever it is. I think that that energy is what makes for a great leader, and it really helps. I mean, I think even the energy she brings to her kids,
Yes.
Margaret and Magdalene, are just absolutely awesome. And I see this. She mentioned her brother too.
Yep.
She joked about the fact that like you interviewed the wrong Seamon. She was talking about her brother Mike Seamon, who's a vice president at the university. Is a big
Shout
deal.
out Mike.
Mike
Great dude.
is in charge of everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Basically everything.
That's actually on his business card. Everything.
He's an incredible, capable person and a great friend of ours too. So what she brings this to her family, not just to everyone. So I'm grateful. We're grateful to know her, to call her a friend.
Yes.
And for her great insights today. So thanks very much for joining us today on the Pod Quad with the great Amy Seamon. God bless you, and we'll see you on the quad.